let's get underway as we have got another matchup. We've got the return of Bleys. He just keeps featuring on this channel, but he is not alone. We've got another favorite. We always love to watch him. Maybe it's because he's amazing. Maybe it's because he doesn't private his profile. I'm sure it's a combination of those two. It is, of course, DauT back again in a Russ versus Abbasid Dynasty matchup. Let's get it underway. So DauT will be on the Abbasid Dynasty in the red, and Bleys will be playing as Russ in the blue. And his build order straight away, interesting. He goes straight into the lumber camp. Now, usually, I'm kind of against this. I usually prefer to see the hunting cabin go down first and then the lumber camp afterwards. But it makes sense in this matchup, on this map, right? Because of the water. That's the difference. Because you want that extra wood, and everyone's being committed, bar one, right? That's if you look at it right now, he's producing all the villies he can. He's only got one person working on sheep, and the rest are on wood. He wants to get straight under the water as quickly as possible. And it makes even more sense for him than it would for DauT, who DauT has more people still on food, because when you look at the matchups, Bleys should be stronger in this matchup on the water, just because he wants to spam out the fishing ships, which don't have to return to docks. Remember, that's one of the perks of playing the Rust Civ. And then also, if things start to hit the fan, he can quickly just tactically switch his fishing boat army into attack ships and take complete control of the ocean. Meanwhile, DauT on the Abbasid Dynasty, opening-wise, like we said, he's got more people on food. Now he switches some over to wood. In terms of how we've seen this faction played, especially on these maps where there's a bit more of a choke point that you can exploit, we sometimes just see an eco boom. I believe it actually was Bleys that we watched do this against a StarCraft pro the other day, where against a Rush nation, I think it was a rushing nation, not Russ, it was France he was up against. He chose to double, trip, like quadruple eco town boom with stone walls to protect him. We'll have to see if he opts to do something similar in this game, if DauT does, or if Bleys is going to be too quick in and actually harass his eco lines. Because remember, Russ, they do get access to knights earlier. They get them in the feudal age. And that is something you can opt towards. It's not as strong as the Night Rush because your tech up building isn't the stable, right? Like, it's not like you don't have school cavalry like France. But also, more importantly, you don't have access to the way too powerful research tech, which is chivalry, which allows rural knights from France to heal, while Rust knights cannot heal. And just to break down the way that this map works, by the way, if you're going for Sacred Site victories, and this is why I love this map, this is why, once again, I always just say that this is the best map for a 1v1 situation, because there's a balance of water and land. And while you can heavily commit into one, if you want to go for a Sacred Site victory, which remember, is the one where if you capture both of these sites, it starts a countdown of 8 minutes, then you have to actually be present on both the water and the land. Also, because this has the marketplace here as well as a marketplace down here, it just has this nice balance where, once again, if you're playing land or sea, there's benefits to be gained through trade as well as military presence. It's just, overall, this is genuinely, in my opinion, if you're going to run tournaments right now, and you just, you don't want a map VO, there's just a default map, this should be the one. I believe there's the Genesis tournament. I think they use Dry Arabia, which in my opinion favors France way too much. Can be decent for Mongol as well. I think this type of map, there's choke points, so it can screw your rush a bit, but there's still ways in on the water, right? I kind of get there might be some concern around the balance of France on this type of map because of access to hulks. But honestly, considering that Dry Arabia saw everyone spam France, does it really make any difference? At least in this situation, we get some versatility in terms of how you want to play the matchup. But enough running. Let's see where we're at on this so far. So we got 6 on the wood. He switched more over to the food now. This will change as he gets more in for the fishing ships. Mainly now, Bleys just wants to tech up. This is why he's got the extra people gathering food, and this should be, there. Immediately, all of them move away to start building the Golden Gate. Because the other thing he's been doing with the Scout is he's been sniping all these deer, which give gold. Remember, they give 10 gold for everyone killed, and that allows him to also build these bounty systems that allow you to gather food quicker, as well as generate gold more frequently from hunting cabins. A hunting cabin, which, by the way, still hasn't been committed into. Reason being, by the way, is because Bleys is investing everything that he gets into fishing ships. As he puts up a second dock now, it's just all about booming off the water before your opponent can even blink an eye. Because now, while he has 5 fishing ships, you already see that Bleys is up to 6, and his won't have to ever return to the dock. It's a huge advantage. The balance point for this, by the way, is that when you're playing Rust, they tend to peak on water in the Third Age, because you can see here, although you can get better techs, you don't have access to a Carrack, right? Or rather, an anti-siege ship, or a building killing ship, whatever you want to call it. You don't have hulks either. You only have lot your attack ships and demolition ships. That being said, lot your attack ships are surprisingly powerful, and I feel like I don't see them much from Rust players at the moment, outside of the top players. Reason being is most demo ships have 200 health. They tend to have the health of attack ship. I think it's 400 if I remember correctly on a demo ship. And they look similar to the other ships, so it's very hard in a big battle for a player to keep track of exactly where the demo ships are. So Golden Gate will be complete. Looks like he has won the tech up race. And it looks like DauT is playing for Eco Boom, so he's going for the Eco Wing. So when you're talking about Abbasid Dynasty players, you can very quickly tell whether they're going to rush or not based on whether they take Military Ring or Economic Wing. Reason being, if they take Military Wing, it gives them camel support. What camel support does is it creates an aura around a camel that gives bonus armor to all nearby infantry. And that's when you know someone's going for a quick spear rush and they're coming into your base. But in this situation, it looks like both players going economical. Bleys didn't expect this harassment, and I don't blame him. I don't think your opponent is going to harass you on this type of layout map, which means he went for the Golden Gate. The Golden Gate, by the way, is an absolutely godly landmark. What it allows you to do is over time it generates these supply charges. And the way you use supply charges is you'll exchange 100 of something for 150 of someone else. So look, you can sell food, stone, or wood, 100 of it for 150 gold, or you can buy 150 food, wood, or stone for 100 gold. Why this is so important and why this is actually so powerful is if you do go for the Golden Gate, if you were in a game where you can do Golden Gate instead of your Kremlin defense, then you basically stock up 2 of these charges like he has here, and then you double buy stone. And then, because usually you commit more people to wood, and you can get even more if you actually bother to build a wooden fortress, by the way, you then are able to quickly second TC. You're just able to TC a boom much quicker than most factions can, because while they would have invested people into, gathering stone, what you've essentially done is you've said, I don't need to gather stone. Also, by the way, I didn't need to gather the gold to trade for that stone because all I had to do was invest a little bit in the scout who went hunting and basically sniped out crap tons of gold. Hunting, by the way, which I don't think he got to do that much of. No, it looks like DauT was smart on this. So DauT did snipe out a lot of the deer, which is why when we actually look at Bleys' bounty count, he's only up 165 because he couldn't get these deer or these ones either. He did get these ones and this group as well as there still being 1 or 2 sheep to slaughter. So if you want to hit your bounty targets now, and it's important, remember, guys, because that's how you trickle in gold from hunting cabins and also gather more food with villagers, which isn't as important on this map because you have water, then you actually need to look towards hunting the boars. So getting 1 or 2 knights out and then kiting the boars. But he's not even focused on that. Look what he's doing instead. We didn't even get to look at this quick enough. The archer ship started to come out from DauT, but the advantage was there because did he? Yeah, he did. He actually converted all the ships. Okay, so Bleys did go for that play. Basically, what you can do with your fishing ships is you can convert them all into attack ships. He's done that with practically every single one of them, which means he has the advantage, even under a dock, against DauT's spam of archer ships now. And remember, these archer ships, by the way, are stronger. They have more resistance, they have more health, but because you have a Zerg force of ships here, he's able to have the advantage and completely boxed out in. And DauT, I think he lost most of his fishing ships. Yeah, he's going to lose the last 2 as well because he wasn't able to garrison them quick enough. So all of his food eco has just been completely burnt by Bleys' move here. This is amazing. All right. In terms of food, what has he got to do on land right now? He's got access to the berry bushes. He's actually had to opt to go for the outpost just to try and defend, but he doesn't have the range. Oh, no. That is such pain. He is now going to look to invest in the mill, which will upgrade these berry bushes and give him a huge amount of food to fall back on. But it is definitely a painful situation to be in if you're DauT here that you've been completely forced off the water. The reason being is that shore fish gather at like 0.75. They're equal more or less to gathering from sheep. And then when we talk about deep water fish, that's why DauT sent them all there straight away. They gather at 1.1. 1.1 gather rate by default is actually by far the highest. For comparison, the Abbasid Dynasty, who collect quicker from bushes, collect at 0.825 a second from bushes. So that's why it's so important to get access to these deep water fish. And that's exactly why Bleys went all in and basically convert most of his fishing fleet into military to just choke out control of that area. And also, he never had to worry about a land assault because remember, he did invest in these fortified palisade walls. And had there been a land rush coming out from DauT, these fortified palisade walls with 3,000 health last quite a while, even against a bunch of spearmen throwing molotovs at them. And that also means that Bleys is doing this. He's like, okay, I'm not going to be pressured on water, so I'm going to double down on land, rather. So I'm going to double down on water because my land can't be accessed. So he's going to build up to 4 docks, whereas DauT has remained on just 2 here. DauT is finally able to get an archer ship out. He could cause some pain on the fishing line, but they are close enough still that they could garrison. And 1 or 2 attack ships responding would just burn the ship. But it would alleviate pressure because DauT still cannot get on the water as it currently stands. So yeah, archer ship should spot out what's here. There are attack ships nearby. And there it is. They'll just turn around and attack. The fisher ship should be able to back up before it can be taken out. He can just garrison them, which he will now do. Just get maximum efficiency because remember, every second they're there, they're just going to be generating food. Yeah, so this 1 arrow ship's going to go down, and that might just spell the end of all of DauT's presence on the water. I don't think you even try to get back on the sea now. And this is something very exploitable by Bleys. If he wants to, he can now start to opt into the larger trade ships, which will bring back gold and wood from this trade point here. And because he can see, if he actually went down here, let me just check the vision, in fact. Because I think he did spot, yeah, he spotted this out. So he knows in terms of shoreline, which is accessible to DauT easily, like this was it. He probably wasn't going to invest further down the line because he might be exposed there. One thing that DauT does have going for him right now, though, is he went for the second TC, and I'm pretty sure Bleys, yeah, he is finally doing it, but this does mean he will be behind. The difference, of course, is that because he can be on the water, his eco is going to be stronger despite being behind in TCs because his food generators are coming from different buildings. In fact, I think he's up to 5, 6, 7, 8. So he's got 8 right now. So in terms of income, he should be vastly ahead. Yeah, Bleys is a reasonable amount ahead for the situation when we consider that DauT has 18 people on food. That's a significant number. And he's going for a 3rd TC. He's doing it. We said we were expecting this, but the cool thing is that Bleys is reading this. Look what Bleys is trying to do. He's actually trying to move a Vili out to build a palisade wall line. This was scouted out, though, by DauT, and he did attack the Vili. But with this scout here, this should buy time for him to move up. The problem is that the TC and the Spearman will stop him from constructing these walls. And that means he can't fully choke in the way he'd want to, which means that DauT has the option of stonewalling further forward from this while being able to eco-boom up off of 3, maybe even 4 town centers. Now, the question is whether Bleys just wants to try and burn down the remainders of these docks. I mean, he could, and that would completely just spell an end to DauT's presence. You can see he's trying to find value because this is kind of the awkward part. He's invested this much into attack ships. He needs to do some with them. One cool thing to highlight here, though, is that as the Rust faction, if you find you've got way too many attack ships and no use for them, just hit this button here. 25 wood, and 20 seconds later, and you've got a fishing boat. Tries to snipe out some Vilis. Unable to do so. They will set fire to the docks. They do lose 1 of the ships, but they're able to back out of range of the outpost. And he could easily just attack the dock if he wanted to here. By the way, this is something else that we should always mention. You can drop off any food type, as you're seeing there. I feel like this is a bug, though. I don't think this is intended. Any food type can be dropped off at the dock. So you're seeing people just gather from these bushes and drop off. So it's a little bit more efficient. Although I think it's going to burn down soon. I don't know if he's going to keep it alive. So yeah, Palisades on the side from DauT. Doesn't want to be flanked or controlled himself. This fortified Palisade was never complete. Remember, the Vili couldn't get to it. Now, I wonder if Bleys is just going to play into a tech free timing. It looks like he's going for a secondary Palisade wall, so this suggests to me like he's going to bring some extra people up maybe to hunt here. But more importantly, he's just looking for a tech up into free, which is pretty cool because he started to build a few knights. And if you can actually buff these up instantly into regular knights and also give them the Boyar's Fortitude, they should just be able to just plow into the line. Of course, the problem you might encounter is that usually these Abbasid Dynasty players, these pesky fellas, they just like to go straight in for the Spearman every time, don't they? Which is what he's been doing so far. So has the trade ships ban begun yet? I don't think so. It looks like Bleys hasn't chosen to do this. It's curious because I do think there's a lot of value that you could be gaining right now. I'm wondering where else he really feels he needs to put the wood, because you can see he's got a surplus of wood. Is the fact that the gold is limited? I will grant you that. But you know, these trade ships are pretty pricey on the wood front, so I don't understand if he had a limitation there. But in terms of his wood count, he's really good. He isn't even spamming more ships. I think he's happy with the amount of official ships he's got. He's got we're up to like, yeah, he's up to like 16. I think it's actually, no, it's 19 trade ships. And he sneaks in the Knights. Yep, transport ship across. And now he's harassing into the civvy line. Gets 1 or 2. Needs to move them deeper because picking them up again would be a bit wonky right now. And he might find the gold vein lines, actually. Or spearmen. That's the thing you don't want to find. In fact, they run past him. Oh, no! The miss micro. So he's going to split them up. It looks like he's actually just not paying attention, so they're just default aggroing onto the spearmen. So he's going to lose the Knights. He doesn't really get that much value. This is not a good trade for Bleys. Hasn't really disrupted too much of the eco for the investment himself. Because remember, these Knights are pretty pricey at 140 food and 100 gold each. But DauT, Bleys, they basically hit it in similar timelines, right? There wasn't too much difference there. Bleys did get up to tech 3 first. He has plenty of food. He just needs to sort his gold now. I think he needs to put more people on gold to just instantly boom up. He did go for the Abbasid Trinity, by the way, which means he'll be able to spam out warrior monks, which is a pretty big deal because it means not only could he potentially capture these sacred sites to trickle gold, but he can actually quickly spam out and collect the relics from his opponent's side of the map. An important detail, by the way, because if you look at these spawns, it's kind of BS a little, isn't it? DauT has 4 relics right close nearby him. Meanwhile, I believe there was just 1 close by for Bleys, if I can even find it. Unless there isn't. Wait, there isn't? Okay, there it is. I was confused for a second. Yeah, he picked up the one that was nearby. But there's no doubt that this definitely favors, in terms of relic spawns, this has definitely favored DauT in this game. Moving in by Bleys, by the way. Wait, really? He built archery ranges right next to DauT's base. Okay, this is cool because he's spamming out the horse archers. The reason this is a big deal is horse archers, pretty significant range, and also they're mobile. The only difference between these and the Mongols is the Mongols can fire on the go. You can't with these. But once you tech up again, you'll be able to get the extra 2 weapon range, so you'll always be able to stay far enough away that you won't really be attacked by any sort of ranged target. That being said, a little bit of a misplay here with these 3 horse archers means they get picked off by the camel riders. Remember, camel riders get bonus against cavalry. I believe they do get bonuses against the horse archers because, yes, they are archers, but more importantly, they're also cavalry units. And now, oh, wow, he trapped in one of the attack ships. He will lose 1 or 2 of these camels by the looks of it, though. One's going to go down before he can back them away. He doesn't have any way of healing them either, so keep that in mind also. And the question is whether... Okay, Bleys isn't paying attention right now. He's kept so busy on the front line, he hasn't banked this extra relic yet, and he hasn't sent monks out to collect the other relics. So he's missing out on a lot of potential gold at this stage in the game. He's at least getting some harassment. He has shut down this wood line, but I believe there is a secondary wood line over here for DauT. His income on wood is pretty pathetic, though. DauT is pretty heavily invested in just getting plenty of food. This will allow him to build up a sizable army of lancers plus camel riders. But he definitely needs to make sure that he addresses his wood issue, just so that he can actually go into archers if he needs to counter out the horse archer move that Bleys is making. And I like this move by DauT. If he can get the keep down uninterrupted, he should be able to just completely force Bleys out. And this means that these archery ranges are just a burnt investment worth nothing. Not many in the way of horse archers still alive here for Bleys. Every time he's trying to move away, they were getting sniped out by this outpost that was been upgraded. A little bit of a tough situation. He did get 2 up here, but the problem is you do so little damage, really, with individual horse archers. Harassing the villager line is tough because they're in range of the TC. Has he? No, he hasn't. Okay, I was about to say, has he noticed the AFK monks? He's actually producing more warrior monks, but he still hasn't moved these 2. What's going on here? Oh, no. Mistakes have been made, folks. He's missed, like, how long has this been? It's been a few minutes now. So he's missed out on a few hundred gold because of this. That's tough. And there's also still no trade ship investments. So, interesting situation. When we look at the eco side, by the way, DauT is behind. Bleys is ahead because, remember, economy-wise, these fisher ships count as well. That's why he has more, despite the TC booming coming out from DauT. Meanwhile, center. Wallalol does just convert the scout? I respect it. Mass Scout, he says. So he will be able to continue building the Spasskaya Tower. This is cool because now he can look to cap the Sacred Site, and he has an uber strong defense against any sort of assault towards this location. In fact, he's even building a secondary keep. However, there are spearmen coming in. So that's going to be a whoopsie daisy. These workers are going to be too late to actually get this complete, so he should just lose them. He hasn't defended them either. Yeah, he's finally seeing horse archers forward. They're going to be a little bit late. I don't think they can burn down the landmark quick enough, though. And they'll construct the keep, which will distract them and buy time for the archers to arrive. So run them past, waste more of their time. Horse archers to try and snipe out the spearmen one by one. And it looks like, dude, he's actually planning a sacred site victory. Look how many keeps he's putting down. He's full in on the turtle here. Lancers coming through. Horse archers in a bit of trouble now. They can just skirt and retreat quick enough, but they're being corners, and they don't necessarily kill these lancers quickly. There is a warrior monk that could slow things down, by the way. He could engage with that, but he gets the fort complete, more importantly. So the keep's now up. That should quickly snipe out these lancers and will repel DauT back towards his base. His base, which is still not completely free of Bleys' influences, are still these archery ranges and the ships on the shore. But now, there should be a move. Yeah, trade ships. Yes, there we go. So this is the other cool thing he done. He wanted maximum value out of the trade, so instead of going from the side here, he gets the maximum distance away from the trade post by building everything up here into the sacred site. So notice he's got double docks here. He's got the multiple fortresses to protect him at this front. And every return of these trade ships is giving 314 gold and 150 wood. So his eco is going to boom past DauT. Well, the lol conversion is going to completely fail. The horse archers are sniping out some of these workers, but I think the keep will be complete before they can stop it completely. He never captured the sacred site, by the way, which is a big deal because it's extra gold you're missing and you're not able to force a sacred site victory countdown at all. That being said, there are enough horse archers here to really start frustrating DauT. How many warrior monks as well, too? So these are cool. Every time a warrior monk gets engaged, look what will happen. You can't see it because they moved out of range. When a warrior monk starts attacking, he buffs nearby allies' attack, and I believe it is their defense slightly. So as long as they can have warrior monks attacking, you're Gucci. The problem he has right now is, of course, he's never building melee units to go on the front line with the warrior monks, so they get sniped very quickly by DauT's forces. 4 siege workshops being built as well. One of these archer ranges already gone. Not much in the way of military presence here. You can see it's actually all been switched. I love this move from Bleys. He's like, okay, I don't need to be paranoid anymore. The wars belong to me. I'll keep a few archer ships up, but everything else has just been converted into fish, which means his income per minute is just booming. 1,500 food. Then look at the wood. The wood as well. He's getting so much wood, man. And then a decent amount of gold, considering he doesn't really have many. Yeah, he has 6 people working on gold. That is literally it. He's been building hunting cabins occasionally, but not that many. It's actually just been primarily due to the trade ships. Horse archers being engaged. Somewhat trading with the camel riders and elite lancers, but somewhat suffering as well. If anything, he needs to get these into the elite status, because I don't think he's done that yet. No, where's the tech up? Okay, there we go. He's getting it now. He already got the range, though, so that's the cool thing. If he can stay at range, it's almost impossible for DauT to catch him. But now he's going to have the veteran horse archers. He should be able to trade quite well, even against these heavily armored opponents. Still no sacred site cap. Interesting. I don't know if this has just been an oversight by Bleys. It feels weird that he hasn't gone for them. Like we said, you get gold from this. So even if it's not your intent to win with it, it's definitely worth doing it to just, 1, force your opponent to react in an uncomfortable way, but 2, to also trickle in an eco. That being said, he's not necessarily lacking in the gold front right now, is he? Bombard cannons. Deal with the keep. And now these horse archers, remember, they can kite this. They do way too much damage at this stage. The lancers have to back up. He's getting bombard cannons out now, but the keep will fall at this rate. It's double bombard cannon. He is not building a new one, but he is upgrading the siege work, so they'll be able to take additional hits. And then immediately they just move all the horse archers onto the bombard. He's not wasting any time getting rid of the keep. He won't even redirect the fire. And that bombard will go down before it can even snipe one out. And now the horse archers baiting in the elite lancers here. A lot of damage will be done. He's trying to burn down one of these bombards, but it means he's going to lose his army, and he already lost the keep. So DauT, in full retreat, will be chased down. Remember, these guys move a lot slower than the horse archers. 1.62 compared to... Oh, right, 1.62. My mistake. I got them mixed up with the Magadai. I think the Magadai move a little bit quicker. But the point is, you're moving away, and there's the extra range, so you'll still get caught all the time. Stupid pigeon not knowing every unit's speed within a week of the game releasing. I mean, what? Horse archers forcing them off the gold. So that's going to really hurt DauT's income. He at least has surplus gold to work with at the moment. But remember, we talked about this. The economy of trade. It's infinite. Infinite gold is exactly what Bleys has access to. Something that DauT can't brag about. Because DauT has to really do something very soon. Bombards just dealing with the additional keeps. He doesn't have a big enough army to just bum rush down these bombards, which means every single one of these keeps is just a wasted investment. It's 800 stone that you've just somehow burned. I don't know how you burn stone, but he found a way to. Or more importantly, Bleys is finding a way to. More bombard cannons coming out. A few warrior monks here. Continues the elite horse archer spam. And I want to highlight, by the way, this isn't even as powerful as Bleys could have been. He built double keep. I'd say the Spaskai tile wasn't needed. He could have went for the siege tech up instead. And that would have given him a unique tech research for the Springalds, which gives additional range to them. And that would have given him a situation where he could have kept sniping out any sort of counterplay from range that DauT was attempting. That being said, Bleys understood that he has so many horse archers and he has such a good eco, he doesn't even have to worry about playing for that later timing or playing for that kind of delayed siege. He can just bombard cannon through, and there's no answer for DauT right now. He's still trying to build more archery ranges, more military-producing structures, but his army isn't big enough. And once again, he's forced to engage here, charging in because he sees that the wooden fortresses are going up. Might lose some villies here, but it's worth it just to wipe out DauT's army again, which is looking like that's what he's going to do. And these horse archers just shrugging it off. Could even bring up the priest to try and assist here if he wants to, as he could easily heal up these horse archers that have been injured. The bombard cannons aren't threatened. They're just chipping through all of these lances as well. That's going to be another army burn. Not really time to build a new army either. It's not like this was an efficient trade so you could get a bigger force out later. Because now, look at this. Look how outnumbered you are. You're going to lose even more military structures as the spam continues. It's siege workshops, 5 of them being built by Bleys. He wants a bombard party, and DauT's invited. However, it's one of those invites you never want to attend, right? Kid invites you to come round, and then it turns out that you have to play goalie for 2 hours of football. No one likes being the goalie. Trip bombard now to deal with this keep. He's trying to repair it, which means the horse archers can harass onto them here. Whoopsie. And he started building the Streltsy. And this switchover just might be enough to kill off DauT. With Streltsy now coming out, it means that you have anti-armor as well as the harassment and the chase down of these horse archers, and you're always outnumbered as DauT. And with Trip bombard, that keeper's not long for this world. 22 villagers now need to retreat somewhere safe, but right now Bleys hasn't even noticed them. DauT. It almost just feels like he's given up in his mind. Because like you're sitting here right now, what is the play? You don't have walls to hide behind, not that they work well against bombards. You're spamming out units, but like really, you're not even reallocating this Villi line, which to me suggests that DauT has already given up before the game is over. Yep, just going to lose them one by one. The cries of 1 million Abbasid Dynasty peasants dying. The pain. And the bombards should just plow through this. And this has got to be game. I mean, DauT. I think you're just sitting there. This is just one of those like reflection moments. You haven't GG tapped out, but you're kind of sitting there going, what could I have done different in this game? And I think the big difference was maybe walling early on and moving more aggressively out. I think possibly going for a 4th TC could have helped a bit as well. But I think more importantly, it's just Bleys' aggression was really good. I think if you wanted to beat him, you had to invest more people into wood at the start to construct the initial fishing ships and then continue to spam out arrow ships. Because remember, while you can convert your fishing fleet, and Bleys did do that, if you had enough archer ships on the water, they trade better against these attack ships by default. And it takes 20 seconds to switch fishing boats over. So if you catch him by surprise, Bleys will lose those fishing boats that have 125 health before they complete the conversion. That would be the big difference, I'd say. Other than that, maybe going for an early rush. You could see Bleys was going defensive, and that's what makes it hard to go for an early rush, because it's still a 3,000 health wall you have to get through. But I think Abbasid Dynasty have a little bit of potential to maybe go in early with battering ram and force an uncomfortable situation. As most of the time, Russian players will play into knights in the early phase, which means your spearmen that you inherently always end up building as Abbasid Dynasty at the start counter them out. So I really do think it maybe comes back to the military wing not being selected over the eco wing, but I fully understand why DauT done it. I think he needed the eco boom and he understood that. And he did have his timings good, but really well played by Bleys to just counter that out with this early aggression on the sea. Really just showing us what Russ can do with that feudal timing on the ocean. Once again, another fun match played out on this map. Man, I just love watching this map. You know what? As a Rust player, I may love seeing Rust win every once in a while too. GG, well played, Bleys.